Be sure to friend us on Facebook. You can do it right now. Visit facebook.com/Voice America or search for us at keyword Voice America.
The following program is being brought to you on the Voice America Variety Channel. For more information about our network and to check our additional show hosts and topics of interest, please visit voiceamericavariety.com. The Voice America Talk Radio Network is the worldwide leader in live Internet talk radio. Visit voiceamerica.com. The views and ideas expressed on the following program are strictly those of the host or guests and do not necessarily reflect the views and ideas held by the Voice America Talk Radio Network, its staff, and management.
Teams have one. Olympic gold medalists have one too. Even the world's top achievers have one. What am I talking about? A personal coach. How much more effective would you be if you had your own personal coach to motivate you, keep you accountable, and give you what you need to succeed on a weekly basis? Well, for the next hour, you have just that. You are tuned into The Potentialist, empowering people to reach their greatest potential, with your host, Dion Jordan.
Hi, and welcome to the show. My name is Dion Jordan, branded as The Potentialist, and we've created this empowerment show with one purpose in mind, and that's to help you reach your greatest potential. Our mission is simple: to help as many people as we can eliminate the gap that exists between where they are and where they want to be. You see, that's my expertise, empowering people to maximize their abilities. And we do this by providing proven success strategies used by top performers around the world in a way that's fun, engaging, and extremely valuable. And here we are. It is a brand new week. And what we do this week, it must be impactful. It must be important. It must be deliberate. Why? Because we are exchanging a week of our life for it. So we want to make sure that whatever we do, that makes a difference. This is what I always believe. Never let a day go by without being better today than what you were yesterday, without being a step closer to becoming who you want to be or even where you want to be. I mean, think about it. What if every day you could improve just a little? What if every day that you could accumulate just a little bit more money? Or what if every day you could lose just a little bit more weight? What if every day that you could step closer to your intended goal? That's the purpose of this show, to help us to grow, to reach that maximum potential, that one day we might have a chance not just to walk towards our goals, but we'll actually be standing on them. And today it's going to be a special show because I have a special guest that's going to join us a little bit later on in the program. Today's program, once again, is going to be around the title of the show, helping you reach your greatest potential. I've had a chance already now to do about 10 or 11 different shows. All the different shows were around building confidence, how to raise your standard in living, how to raise your own self-esteem and your own personal values and expectations for yourself, to help you find not just your goals in life, but to be in pursuit of your purpose in life. Well, today we have the unstoppable woman, Erika Gilchrist, who's going to join us and help us to better reach our goals. Let me tell you a little bit about Erika. Erika, the unstoppable woman Gilchrist, is regarded as one of the most energizing, engaging, and captivating speakers in the industry. Her seminars, trainings, and keynotes have empowered thousands of people. I mean, just a partial list of her corporation includes Dell, Target, Staples, Monster.com, New York Life, American Airlines, and countless others. She is a highly acclaimed speaker, author, consultant, and life coach. And more than this, she's a friend of mine and a colleague. So I'd like to introduce to you the unstoppable woman, Erika Gilchrist. Erika, you there?
Yes, Dion, I'm here. Good morning.
Good morning. And I am terribly excited that you've had the opportunity to join us today.
Thank you so much for having me. I often listen to you, and you continue to absolutely motivate and inspire me. And all I have to say to you, Dion, is just keep doing what you're doing.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Now, the audience doesn't know, but I have known Eric now for probably around 10 or 11 years. And I've always been impressed with the work that you do. And I oftentimes look at you as a female me. I mean, everything that I talk about as far as trying to encourage people and help people, reach their goals and live their dreams, you're doing the exact same thing. So it was a no-brainer for me to have you on my show. But although I know a lot about your accomplishments and the wonderful things that you've done, would you go ahead and just share just a little bit about some of these accomplishments with the audience?
Sure. So I've been doing speaking and training now for just over 15 years. As you stated, I am an award-winning speaker. In 2008, I won the highest trainer rating for conflict management skills for women. On a 10-point scale, my average rating was a 9.72. So I was very, very proud of that. I conduct workshops on personal development as well as teaching people how to write and publish their own book. I was just recently featured on the cover of Black Pages International. So if you have an opportunity to pick up a copy of the Black Pages, I'll be featured front cover. I have my own publishing company. And Dion, I don't know if you were aware of that or not, but I have my own publishing company called Unstoppable Publishing. What other name could I use for the Unstoppable?
Exactly.
And I help authors or potential authors to publish their own work so that they can add credibility, so that they can book speaking engagements, so that they can use it as an extra income for themselves. You listed a lot of the clients that I've serviced before, and I have a countless number of others. But more importantly than that, my heart is in my work. So it doesn't really feel like work to me. I'm also the publisher and author of 6 books myself surrounding personal development and self-improvement.
Oh, that's wonderful. That's good. No, I didn't know about the publishing company. See, had I known that, I'd have gone your route. See? we got to communicate on that. On the next one, I am coming through you as far as getting the books published.
All right.
So you've had a chance to share a little bit of your accomplishments. But one thing that I think people need to hear and also enjoy hearing is the story behind the accomplishments. I mean, I truly believe that everybody is born great, but somewhere down the life or somewhere down, life's long road that, we lose the confidence in our own greatness and certain things happen in our lives that kind of, shake our foundation and kind of get us off track of our own greatness. Some people are able to get back on that track and some aren't. So I was wondering if you would be willing just to share a little bit about your story, some of the struggles that you went through and how you were able to succeed and make it to the place where you are today.
Sure, absolutely. Despite very challenging surroundings, I was able to achieve success, but it would behoove me to explain some of the challenges that I faced, one of them being as a little girl growing up in a household that was full of women and perhaps 1 or 2 men. I was violated sexually as a little girl by the very people who were supposed to be there to protect me. And as a result of that, I became very, very confused about the role that men were supposed to play in my life. So I developed this consciousness of, men are out to get me. Because my experience at that time has been that's all that they've done was take from me and never really positively contributed to my life. That is a little bit of my childhood. Going into teen years and young adult years, I wound up sleeping in a van. I did not have a place to call home. I wound up in a woman's shelter for abuse because of my ex-husband. And what I'm learning is that the things that I went through as a young child has jaded a lot of my views. But I am definitely someone who believes there's got to be more than pain in life. Everything contains its opposite. So I said, if I'm experiencing this pain, there's got to be an avenue where I can experience happiness. So I asked myself, well, what have I not done yet thus far? Because this isn't working for me. And the answer was very clear. I have not actually talked about it. I kept all of those things to myself. So once I reached out and I actually started talking about it with a licensed professional, I was able to see that many of those issues were not my fault. It was not something that I did or said, and that I was deserving of something better. I was deserving of my heart's desires. So in all of that, there are many details that I've eliminated for the sake of time. But going from those type of traumatic beginnings to the accomplishments that I've had thus far is absolutely amazing. And I teach other people exactly how they can do that for themselves.
Nice. Now, with some of these experiences that you had growing up, how were you able to kind of like turn that around? Like, at what point did you realize that, you know, that I'm not that victim, but that I'm more than that? You know, was it the conversation with the life coach that you talked to? Was it just a personal conversation you had with yourself? But what helped you kind of turn the corner in that thought?
Well, what turned it around for me is when I started really being honest. And when I say being honest, I mean the stuff that you believe that people are going to shame you for, the things that you are totally embarrassed and humiliated about. When I started talking about it very truthfully, is when truth started to reveal itself. During those traumatic times and the embarrassment of talking to that licensed professional, once she and I had developed or established a foundation of trust, which is very, very important when you're revealing your vulnerabilities. Once we established that trust, I was able to open up and not just see some of the errors of some of the things that happened, but I was able to see the potential that lied within me. In my adult life and in my career, one of the things that turned it around for me was volunteering my time to help other people. I would call them up or I would email them. I would say, hey, you know, if you need any help with your event or your project, I would like to volunteer to help you. What that does, can you imagine being an entrepreneur or business owner and someone calls you out of the blue and says, hey, what do you need help with? Can I help you at your registration table? Can I help you with your marketing? Can I help you with fill in the blank? I developed so many wonderful relationships with people just by volunteering my time. Another thing that turned it around for me is that I started utilizing the resources that I let fall by the wayside. For example, the people in my life who were really making things happen, I started asking them, you know, how they did it. And whatever it is that they told me, here's the key, Dion, I actually implemented it. You can ask until you are blue in the face. When people offer you stellar advice on how to improve your life, that is a gift. Accept it, embrace it, and implement it. And some people may say, oh, well, that's nice, but it won't work for me, when they haven't even tried it. So those are two primary things that really turned it around for me.
Oh, no, that's good. I mean, I think what you shared right there is life-changing by itself, because there's so many people that they have a story to tell, and they're a little ashamed of their story, or they feel like their story has got the best of them. But to be able to turn your story around and take everything that you went through that was negative and find a way to help somebody else out that might be going through the same trouble or might, you know, need someone in their life to be a positive influence is huge. Because I think some people never get out of it. They get stuck in their own situation, and they're never able to turn that corner. But just the fact that you are able to find the help and also have the courage to turn around and help somebody else out, I think that was great. Well, listen, we need to go to commercial break, but I am terribly excited about the conversation that you and I are about to have. I've got some great questions from some of our listeners over the time that they definitely want to hear about and hear from you about concerning reaching your greatest potential. So we'll go to commercial break. You are listening to The Potentialist on Voice America, and we'll be right back.
Your voice counts. Call toll free 1-866-472-5787. 1-866-472-5787. VoiceAmerica.com.
Are you in need of the perfect speaker for your next event? Allow the Potentialist, Dion Jordan, to help your audience reach its greatest potential. His lively and engaging presentations are filled with the perfect combination of humor, content, and motivation. Your audience will love Dion's energy, and you'll love the positive impact he makes. Visit DionJordan.com for Dion's latest keynotes, workshops, or live events. Or bring the Potentialist to your business, organization, or college. Call Dion Jordan now at 1-877-572-1704. That's 1-877-572-1704. Or visit www.dionjordan.com. Realize your true potential. Call 1-877-572-1704 or visit DionJordan.com today. Now there's a new destination for video content, VoiceAmerica.tv. Just like our radio channels and so much more. Voice America Variety, Health and Wellness, Business, Sports, Green Talk, Power Up Motorsports, and Seventh Wave Network now have their own video channel components. Plus, check out exclusive programming, including movies, music, educational courses, science and history, current events, and short features. High-definition, premier quality programs available 24/7. VoiceAmerica.tv. If you think you've seen online TV like this before, let us surprise you.
Streaming live. The leader in Internet talk radio. VoiceAmerica.com.
You are listening to The Potentialist, empowering people to reach their greatest potential with motivational speaker Dion Jordan. If you have a question or comment for the show, please send an email to thepotentialist@DionJordan.com. That's Potentialist@DionJordan.com. Now, back to the show.
Welcome back. You're tuned into The Potentialist, where I have special guest, unstoppable woman, Erika Gilchrist. And she was just sharing with us a little bit about her story and exactly some of her accomplishments and how she was able to kind of turn her mess into her message, the things that she went through and the difficult times that she had and the steps that she took to turn it around. So, Erika, the first question I want to ask is based right around the topic of the show today, and that is, in your mind, what does it take for a person to reach their greatest potential and reach success?
Oh, that's an awesome question, Dion. To reach their greatest potential, people first have to understand that they are destined for greatness. When you have the belief that you are an average person, then you make average choices. You choose average jobs, and you maintain an average mentality. And I'm often reminded of a study that I read. It was about children who were brought up to believe that they are great from the beginning and who are supported in their interests versus those who are told that, they can't do this or that because it's a long shot or there isn't any money in that field. And the results were astounding. The children who were encouraged from the very beginning, they achieved more of their personal and professional goals than the latter child. So to achieve your greatest potential, you have to, adjust your wiring, reteach yourself that greatness is in fact achievable. Someone just like you. If you believe that you are the average Joe or the average Sue, your decisions are going to reflect that. So once you rewire and you make those adjustments, your choices will start to change. Your results are going to differ. And one day you're going to look back and go, oh my goodness, did I really achieve all of those things? Absolutely. You were destined to do that. We just needed to tweak a little bit about what it is that you were doing so that you can reach your greatest potential.
Yeah, I like that. I've always been a strong believer that it really does boil down to what you believe. And if you believe that you're great, you're going to do great things. And like you said, if you believe that you're average, you'll end up doing average things. I heard someone once say that, you just have to believe that you're destiny's little darling, that the whole universe is working on your behalf to help you to succeed. Whether things are good or whether things are bad. If it's bad, it's just there to help you to get stronger. If it's good, it's to propel you a little closer to whatever your goal is. But it really does boil down to that belief. So I definitely thank you. As far as changing the mindset. So let me ask you this one, all right? Because this is where I don't think I can help my audience, where I think you can help my audience.
Okay.
All right. So I do believe there are you could call them double standards out there. It's not always a level playing field when trying to reach success. And some people that I've spoke to, and some, very highly acclaimed people that I've spoke to, said, hey, all you got to do is work hard, do the work, and you'll accomplish your goals. Not taking under consideration that it could be a different struggle depending upon maybe the culture that you're in, or the race that you are, or maybe the gender that you have, or the disability or the abilities that you have, that it's not always a level playing field. And so I can talk from a male perspective. I can talk about what success looks like and what you need to do and how easy it is to be respected just as a male itself, where sometimes, others might have, bigger challenges. So my question is, in general, how is reaching success in the professional world, or even in your personal endeavors, different for a woman than it might be for a man?
And you came to the right person with that question, Dion. For your listeners who may not be aware, I do specialize in empowering women and women's issues. So I can answer that very thoroughly, but I'm going to give you just an overview right now. It's different for women professionally because there are many prejudices against women as leaders or in a leadership role. And I'm just going to name a few. Some of the prejudices against women is that women can't take pressure. We fall apart, or women love to gossip, or women are always changing their minds, or we take things too personally, or we're too emotional, or we allow our families to get in the way of our job. And the list goes on and on. So coming into a professional environment with that general thought process, the odds are already stacked against us. And some people have those particular prejudices in the personal arena as well. So my advice to women, and this is what I tell them, you're a woman, okay? Embrace it. Embrace the fact that you're a woman, and don't try to, quote unquote, act like a man. You are not a man. You're a woman. I advise that women develop their leadership skills if they're lacking in that area. You can develop your assertiveness skills, your task management skills. Start off small if this is an area of difficulty for you. One young lady just really had an issue with asserting herself, and it had nothing to do with her being a scaredy cat or anything like that. It was her cultural environment, her upbringing. So I told her, I said, well, we'll call her Maggie, okay? I said, well, Maggie, why don't you start off small? If you go to a restaurant and you order a salad with no onions and they bring you a salad with onions, speak up, because she would be the person who would take the onions off of her salad and then eat it. So I would say, well, Maggie, start off small. Actually say to the server, excuse me, I did order a salad without onions. Will you take this one back and bring another one, please? That's where you can start. So for women, I advise you not to try and act like someone else, because you're the only person you know how to be, and you will make a terrible somebody else, and somebody else will make a terrible you. So embrace who you are and where you are. Recognize where your strengths and your weaknesses are, and wherever you feel you are weak, take personal development courses, get mentors who are where you say you want to be. So the prejudices against women don't necessarily have to hinder you from being successful in your personal or your personal or professional lives.
Yeah, I like that. Let me push a little further that question, because one of the things I heard you say was talking about mentors, and also, that you're a woman and you're not a man. I'm a basketball fan, so I can remember growing up before there was the WNBA and basketball, that I would see all these girls playing basketball out there, and they were walking like guys, and they were, talking like the guys on the basketball court, trying to get that respect. But they really didn't have any female role models on what a female basketball player looked like, how a female basketball player, carried themselves. It wasn't until the WNBA comes, and where now you see, the ladies out there playing more, that fits them rather than trying to play like a guy. And so my question for you is it important that a woman have a woman role model, or can they still have male role models but be successful, in what they do?
Well, having a mentor whose current achievements are in alignment with the goals that you've set for yourself is very important, whether it's a male or female. And as a woman, though, to answer your question directly, is it important for a woman to have a female mentor? My direct answer to that would be yes, mostly because women can better understand the struggles of women more so than a man. Now, that's not to say that you can't be successful as a woman if you don't have a female mentor, because you can certainly take the advice from a male mentor. And Dion, by the way, many of my mentors are men in addition to women. So it's not to say that a male mentor cannot mentor female successfully. But it is important for a woman to be able to identify with the female role in a particular industry, especially if you're going into a male-dominated industry. There was a couple of colleagues of mine who are in IT, railroad, and construction. And my goodness, are you kidding me? The odds, talk about the odds being stacked against you as a woman in those particular industries. So having a female mentor is important, but don't limit yourself to just women. You definitely want to have a male perspective, because what a male mentor can do for you, ladies, that a female cannot, is to tell you how men think in that industry and how you can use that to your advantage.
Nice. That's good. Okay, so let's stick with some things that are definitely more around women issues, only because I never really have an opportunity to speak to these to my audience, and I know that a big portion of the audience are women. So my question is, and I know that we might have to go to commercial break in a couple minutes. So in case we don't finish this question now, I hope that we have a chance to finish when we get back, because I do think this is a pretty deep question. But what would you say is a secret pain or struggle that most women deal with privately? And what advice could you give them in overcoming this challenge?
That is, oh my goodness, you hit the nail on the head. There's secret pains. There are many successful women who appear to be, they have it all together and they're successful and they have the money and the house and the great spouse, but there are some underlying issues that have not been brought to the surface. And some of those, for many women, are previous experiences that totally haunt their present. It could be anything from childhood drama to relationship trauma. And what I mean by that is a lot of issues that women experience. We feel like we're strong women, so we should be able to handle that on our own, and it's not going to stop us. But when we don't deal with it, it really does hinder us in a way. So the relationship drama, we carry things from previous relationships into our current relationships and wonder how come it's not working. Things they were told while they were in a vulnerable state have been carried with them into their current state. What worked for me in dealing with those silent issues that I did not share with everyone is that counseling that I did. And it's not a weak thing for you to seek help for some issues that you have. You don't have to bring it to the surface publicly, those secret pains that you have. You can deal with it privately in a very safe environment. Deal with it right where it is. And as it starts to diminish, here's something that I noticed, Dion, and I know that we're getting close to our commercial break, but I have to say this. Mm-hmm. You ever notice the more you talk about something, the more tired you get of talking about it?
Yep.
If you're ever in a car accident or something, so what happened? When you have enough people saying what happened, you get to a point where you just say, you know what, I had an accident, I'm fine, let's move on. The same rules apply when you start talking about that pain and you're trying to get through it. The more you talk about it, the more you go, I cannot believe I was letting this thing hinder me for so long. Start talking about it.
Yeah, no, that's good. We do need to go to commercial break, but I definitely want to unpack this this one particular question some more. So once we get back from commercial break, we are with the unstoppable woman, Erika Gilchrist, as she's helping everybody reach their greatest potential. We'll be right back.
Talk. That's all we do is talk. If you'd like to talk, call us toll-free right now at 1-866-472-5787. 1-866-472-5787. That's it. VoiceAmerica.com.
Are you in need of the perfect speaker for your next event? Allow the potentialist, Dion Jordan, to help your audience reach its greatest potential. His lively and engaging presentations are filled with the perfect combination of humor, content, and motivation. Your audience will love Dion's energy, and you'll love the positive impact he makes. Visit DionJordan.com for Dion's latest keynotes, workshops, or live events. Or bring the potentialist to your business, organization, or college. Call Dion Jordan now at 1-877-572-1704. That's 1-877-572-1704. Or visit www.dionjordan.com. Realize your true potential. Call 1-877-572-1704 or visit dionjordan.com today.
Looking for a show about your favorite movies, stars, and DVD releases? Get ready for Kids First Coming Attractions on the Voice America Kids channel. Your hosts, all 8 of them, have been selected by Kids First as film critics through a national competition. Each week, they will preview new movies before you see them, walk the red carpet with the stars, and will review the latest DVDs. Our hosts range from ages 7 to 14 to give you a wider kids' perspective. Kids First Coming Attractions is heard every Tuesday at 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific on Voice America Kids.
The Internet's #1 talk station. #1 talk station. VoiceAmerica.com.
You are listening to The Potentialist, empowering people to reach their greatest potential with motivational speaker Dion Jordan. If you have a question or comment for the show, please send an email to thepotentialist@dionjordan.com. That's thepotentialist@dionjordan.com. Now, back to the show.
Welcome back. Once again, you're tuned into The Potentialist, empowering people to reach their greatest potential. And today I have with me a special guest, unstoppable woman, Erika Gilchrist. And now, Erika, before we went to commercial break, I had asked you about some of the, private pains that some women struggle with, and what are some good success strategies they could use to overcome some of these pains. And you were able to give us some general pains that, that women might, go through. But I was wondering if you could go just a little bit deeper on maybe one or two of them and really kind of give them some success strategies and some ideas on how to get past maybe some things from their past or some of the struggles that they go through.
Sure, absolutely. One thing that stands out in particular are traumatic childhood experiences. For example, some form of abuse, whether it was emotional abuse or physical abuse. And for many women, when you're a little girl, you're so incredibly impressionable. And when you experience something that traumatic at such a young age during your formative years, you have a tendency to believe that that's how the world is. That's how it operates. People are out to get you. People are out to harm you. So you actually seek out, Dion, situations that harm you. You seek out situations that are meant to do you no good because that's all you know. That's what you've been brought up in, that type of environment. So particularly with those type of secret pains, the first thing I want to say to women especially is that you are nowhere near alone. There are millions, and I did say millions with an M. There are millions of women who have experienced sexual abuse, emotional abuse, physical abuse as a young child. And we often think that we're in it by ourselves. One of the most common sentences that I hear women say who have experienced that is, you have no idea how it feels to be abused that way. And most of the women in the room can attest, yes, I do know what that means. And that is a powerful transition because the first thing she did was actually open her mouth and talked about it. So when dealing with childhood trauma, opening your mouth and saying something, that would probably be the most courageous thing you will ever do in taking steps toward the healing process. It takes a lot of courage to say to a stranger that you've been treated this way. You want people to believe that you had a great upbringing, that you come from good genes and a whole bunch of other things, but it doesn't always happen that way. Some of our greatest people have gone through very dramatic things. That's the first one. The second experience that I would name would be abusive relationships. And again, it could be emotional abuse. It could be physical abuse. When you are in a relationship with a man who demeans you, who puts you down, who makes you feel badly about yourself. And let me back up for a second. First of all, no one can make you feel anything. It is a trigger. And the feelings that you have are expressed because of your pattern. So when men treat you a certain way and you accept it, you then say, well, this is how relationships are. It's the same premise. So when you're going into a new relationship, you're bringing baggage from the old relationship. It's kind of like going from Chicago in the wintertime to Florida. You know, you pack for Florida, right? But then now you're going to go from Florida to Alaska, but you're still got your swimsuit and your bathing suit. It's not going to work in Alaska. So you need to make those adjustments. Each relationship should be treated differently because it is different.
Yeah, that's good. No, that's very good. And I appreciate that. You know, and that actually kind of leads into the next question that we have. And that is, in male and female relationship, what destructive patterns do you find that contribute the most to the demise of the relationship?
Oh my goodness. That's a hot button topic if I've ever seen one. But there are some very major contributing factors in the demise of male-female relationships. And one of the things that gets overlooked is what it is that you accept in the beginning of the relationship. So let's say you meet someone, you really like them, you've got a nice vibe going on with them. They may have some habits, Dion, that you may not find so desirable, but because you don't want in your mind to ruin it, you say, oh no, that's okay. That's not a problem. But then as you get to know the person and you get more comfortable with them and, you know, the new car smell is gone.
Right.
Then, you know, those things become an issue. And some examples of those things in the beginning, let's say, for example, your significant other is very messy, or they like to go to the club, or they play video games, or they watch sports a lot, or they're a workaholic, or they
wear your clothes, or they use your toothbrush. We won't go personal with this one. Go ahead.
Oh my goodness. Okay, that's all right. We're real people with real stuff. Or if they hang out with their friends a lot, or if they drink, or if they smoke, or if they're overweight. There are a number of different things that we accept in the beginning of the relationship that we know are not acceptable to us, but there's a fear that we're going to ruin it. So one of the contributing factors to the demise of it is accepting something that is not acceptable to you. Don't do it. If this person plays video games night and day and you know that you don't like that, you need to say something in the beginning, especially things that you can foresee as a deal breaker. Okay, for me, a personal one, a deal breaker for me is a man who is not involved in the lives of his children. If a man has abandoned his children, it's a wrap. It's a done data. We have nothing to say. Because remember, my dad died when I was 3 years old, so I was dealing with some abandonment issues. So for me, how on earth am I going to build something with a man who has abandoned his children? What if we have children? You're going to abandon our kids too? So the things in the very beginning that you see are red flags. Talk about them. If they're deal breakers, say that they're deal breakers. If it's something that you can adjust, then you want to adjust it. Stop accepting things that are not acceptable.
Okay, that's good. I mean, I thoroughly agree with that. I think what you bring up from the very beginning of the relationship kind of sets the standard for what the relationship is going to look like later on. One of my questions might be, let's say, for example, when you first started off, you were okay with it. And so, like, you always hear the stories, when I first met her, she loved me, I loved her. I would start talking and she would finish my sentences, and they'd be all happy that, the other one can finish their sentences. Then after about 10 or 15 years together, it's no longer finishing my sentences. Now you're interrupting me every time I talk.
Right.
It's just seen differently. So Let's say for those that have been in a relationship that all of a sudden they wake up one day and, they kind of look over and realize, wow, how did I get here? This is, I'm not being treated like I was treated when we first started, So what advice would you give to someone in that predicament?
Well, it's funny because I do have a close friend of mine experiencing that very thing. I mean, new car smell has been gone years ago. So, in this situation, what has happened is that as we grow, we evolve. And couples particularly don't always evolve and grow in the same direction. So when you look up and you see that, well, these things that you used to do, you're not doing for me anymore. You know how when you're a kid and you get a toy and you play with it and you can't stop, but then you get tired of it? Mm-hmm. But then you see another child come to your house and pick it up and all of a sudden you want it again. Mm-hmm. In relationships, and I'm not advising anybody to step outside of your relationship. Trust me, I'm not. But what I am saying is that one of the things that I advised her, because something that she stopped doing, she stopped putting on the makeup, she stopped wearing, the sexy dress and the heels. She stopped doing those things also. I advised her, start doing those things again. Those very things in the beginning. Go ahead and start doing those things, and hopefully it'll motivate him to start doing some things that he used to do in the very beginning. And if it does not work, at that point, you need to open your mouth and say, hey, I remember you used to do this, this, and this. I miss that. I need that. That's what attracted me to you. It's open communication, but it's also in the delivery. If you come at them criticizing them, they hear, I'm not the man I used to be. But mm-hmm. That's not what it is that you're trying to say. All you're saying is a few simple acts will make our relationship a lot more harmonious. So it needs to come across that way. But don't let it be all on them. You have to make some adjustments too. So the direct answer to this is, how about you start doing things that you used to do so that you can spark the interest in the other person to do the things that they used to do. Set an example and then start talking about it from a non-accusatory position.
I like that. I've often heard people say that the things that you do or the things that you did, to get into the relationship, you've got to continue to do once you're in it. And you just can't stop, once things get comfortable. So that was nice. Thank you. So we're about to go to another commercial break, and it seems like our time just going so quick. When we get back from commercial break, I want you to share with us just a few things. And one thing being, if you only had 5 minutes to share something with someone who had all the potential in the world to do great things, but didn't know how, what would you tell them? So you've got every bit of 2-minute commercial break, Erika, to think about that one.
Okay.
You got 5 minutes to inspire someone who's got all the potential in the world. What would you tell them? You're listening to The Potentialist on Voice America, and we'll be right back.
News, opinion. Your voice counts. Call toll-free 1-866-472-5787. 1-866-472-5787. VoiceAmerica.com.
Are you in need of the perfect speaker for your next event? Allow the Potentialist, Dion Jordan, to help your audience reach its greatest potential. His lively and engaging presentations are filled with the perfect combination of humor, content, and motivation. Your audience will love Dion's energy, and you'll love the positive impact he makes. Visit DionJordan.com for Dion's latest keynotes, workshops, or live events. Or bring the Potentialist to your business, organization, or college. Call Dion Jordan now at 1-877-572-1704. That's 1-877-572-1704. Or visit www.dionjordan.com www.dionjordan.com. Realize your true potential. Call 1-877-572-1704 or visit dionjordan.com today.
To perform at your maximum potential, you need to have all aspects of your life working properly. On Mind, Brain, and Body, Dr. Michael John Kell will bring you honest, open discussions concerning your physical, mental, and financial health. If you're ready to find purpose and meaning in your life, tune in to Mind, Brain, and Body every Friday at 8 a.m. Pacific. Mind, Brain, and Body on Voice America Health and Wellness. Radio dedicated to your health, wealth, wisdom, and purpose.
Stimulating talk
gets those synapses in the brain firing really fast.
all the time. The #1 Internet talk station where your opinion counts. VoiceAmerica.com.
You are listening to The Potentialist, empowering people to reach their greatest potential with motivational speaker Dion Jordan. If you have a question or comment for the show, please send an email to thepotentialist@dionjordan.com. That's thepotentialist@dionjordan.com. Now, back to the show.
Welcome back. Once again, we are with special guest, the unstoppable woman, Erika Gilchrist. And she has just shared just some great advice and some great success strategies in helping not just women, but men too reach their greatest potential and how to overcome some of these challenges. Right before the commercial break, I had challenged Erika with a pretty packed question, but before we actually go to that question, Erika, I want to give you the opportunity just to share with the audience and all the listeners out there just some of the things that you're doing right now. You know, maybe, you give us a little commercial around the products that you have. I know you got some great books out there. You've got some great seminars that you have coming up and just some great projects. So would you go ahead and share a little bit about what you have going on before we get to the closeout question?
Absolutely, Dion. As you mentioned, I do have some great seminars and workshops coming up. My most popular is how to write and publish your own book. If you're going to be in the Chicagoland area, that's going to be Saturday, April 7th, 2012. And by the way, everything that I'm mentioning can be found on my website, erikagilchrist.com. So if you happen to miss anything, please visit the website for more information. I'm having a talk show, my very own talk show coming up later on in 2012, and I am extremely excited about that, and you can check the website for updates on that. Dion, I'm also the national chairperson for training and development for SPAA, S-P-A-A. That's the Speakers, Publishers, Authors Association. And we have 20 locations nationwide. If you are interested in becoming a speaker, an author, or a publisher, I highly recommend that you go to a complimentary meeting. For SPA, you would go to thespa.org, thespa, S-P-A-A.org, to find out more information. One of the biggest projects I have going on right now is that I'm actually seeking co-authors for the next book in the Unstoppable Library. And this particular book is called The Success Guide for the Unstoppable Entrepreneur. So I'm seeking authors who can write just a single chapter in their area of expertise to assist business owners and entrepreneurs in establishing and maintaining a successful business. So if you're interested in writing a single chapter, please contact me via my website. The previous book that I did like this, the book signing for it is coming up on Saturday, March 17th, if you're going to be in Chicago. And by the way, the foreword was written by the marketing manager for Harpo Studios. So this woman works closely with Oprah Winfrey. She read the book. She loved it so much that she decided to write the foreword for it. So if you want to come out, meet her, meet some of the other authors, Saturday, March 17th, 2012 in Chicago, you can visit my website for more information on that. And finally, every year, I have my Day for Divas event. It's a women's empowerment event. Come on out. We have wine tasting. We have complimentary massages. There's always going to be empowerment. There's always going to be a guest speaker. And I assure you that you will have an absolute ball. So those are some of the things that I have coming up.
Wonderful. And also, I've invited Erika to be a special guest at another event in Chicago titled Pro Bono No More, and that's how to break into the speaking business and become a highly paid speaker. So if you're interested in becoming a paid speaker and you want to meet Erika for yourself as well as meeting myself, then we definitely invite you to come out to Chicago, March 24th and 25th, and you could find more information about that seminar on our website. So we only have a little time left, but I challenge you with a question, and the question was, Erika, if you only had 5 minutes to share something with someone who had all the potential in the world to do great things, but they didn't know it or they didn't know how, what would you tell them?
Wow. Okay. So, and I'm living up to your challenge.
Okay.
The best way for me to answer that is a very brief story that I tell about when I was in a dentist's office and I picked up an art magazine while I was waiting to get my teeth cleaned. And there was a picture of a bird sitting on a perch and the skies were blue. There were children running around and the bird was singing, laughing, and whistling. It was a beautiful scene. Black, they were so dark. The wind was howling, the trees had no leaves on them, the grass was brown, and there was no sign of life. But the bird was still sitting on the perch, laughing, singing, and whistling. Now, the caption under the very first picture read, "This is not peace." The caption under the second picture read, "This is peace." When you can still be happy and do your thing despite all of those things that are going on in your life, you have genuinely reached a place of being unstoppable. You have to ask yourself who's inside your skin, and whoever you discover that person to be okay with them, because that's who you are. And if there are some areas that you would like to improve, then go ahead and improve upon it. Otherwise, you're going to be sleepwalking through your life. You are going to be functioning, but you are not going to be living. You want to recognize yourself. You want to make sure that you're able to be the genuine you to other people so that you can receive genuineness. You have to give yourself, forgive the phrase, but you have to give yourself an emotional enema. You have to flush out all of those bad things, those toxic things that have hindered you from your greatest potential. And one of the ways to do that is to recognize that it's toxic. Once it's toxic, you flush it out. You have to threaten your Stacy's. You have to see who you are and understand that you are not a done deal. What you see before you, or when you hear me speak, or when you come to see me speak, understand I'm not a go through what you go through. That's how come I'm able to speak at such a passionate level about helping people to reach their potential. You have what it takes. It's already in you. You need someone to show that to you. Sometimes we don't believe that in ourselves. Sometimes it takes another person to say, hey, did you know that you had this in you? No, I didn't know that. Well, here's an example. I tell people, well, name one thing that you've accomplished in your life that you're proud of. And when they give me that one thing, I'm usually able to piggyback off of that and pull some other things. One thing, Dion, before we go, I want to talk about fear, F-E-A-R. What that stands for is forget everything and run. And that's what fear causes us to do. We abandon all logic, all opportunity, and we head for the hills. It's not about being fearless. It was not a really big challenge for you to listen to the show. That was something that you wanted to do. So that's not courage. That's not how courage is defined. Courage is defined when you are scared to death of doing something, but you do it anyway. That's how you define courage. So don't forget everything and run. You stand and you do the things that you are scared to death of doing, even if you're the only one who knows that you are scared. The things that you do when no one else knows about it is what you use to define your character. But I believe in you, and I want you to believe in yourself. If you ever need a pick-me-up, if you ever need that boost, if you ever need the proverbial 5-hour energy from, another person instead of out of a bottle, You want to call up Dion Jordan. You want to call up Erika Gilchrist or a countless number of other people. Dion, personally, I don't think anybody can do it the way you and I do it. But you want to reach out and ask for that help. You deserve it. You earned it. You're destined for it. And you're in the right place at the right time. There are no accidents.
That is all right. Erika Gilchrist, you are my friend, and no one does it quite like you do it. So a quick question before we go to commercial, or before we end the show, actually. Give them your email address and spell that out for them. I'm going to have it up on my website. But for those that want to follow up with you following the show, how can they contact you?
Sure. info@erikagilchrist.com, and I'll spell that for you. It's ErikaGilC as in Charlie, HRI, S as in Sam, T as in Tom. My last name looks like Gil Christ. Or they can call me toll free, 866-44-EMPOWER. 866-44-EMPOWER.
Thank you, Erika. We're definitely going to have to do this again. I've thoroughly enjoyed it. You all have been listening to The Potentialist on Voice America. And I leave you this week, like I always do, reminding you that just because you can't see air doesn't mean you stop breathing. And just because you can't see God doesn't mean you stop believing. Hang in there. The best is yet to come. Thank you.
Thank you so much for tuning in. Please join Dion Jordan for another edition of The Potentialist. We'll be back again next Monday at 11 a.m. Eastern Time, 8 a.m. Pacific Time on the Voice America Variety Channel. Until then, get ready. Your best is yet to come. For more information about our show or about Dion Jordan, be sure to visit DionJordan.com.